Sun Pacific Holdings Corp is a company that has absolutely smashed the market in the last couple, honestly, just the last few days. Now, if we do go ahead and we jump over onto the computer here, I posted a video only this morning about Sun Pacific Holdings Corp, talking about the fact that I was going to be starting a position into them, and at the time of recording, it was sitting at about 8 cents. Now, if we do go over and we check out SNPW, it is currently at about 20 cents, meaning a gain of over 155% since the creation of that video. Now, I did mention this stock to my Discord. I did let them know that I was going to be starting a position in this company early this morning, and I know a few of them did get in, and they saw some fantastic gains over the course of the day. So if you do want access to the Discord, if you want access to a community of over 100 different traders and investors who talk about stocks just like this one, who see growths of over hundreds and hundreds of percentages, if you want access to my portfolio and me to be fully transparent about all of the trades I make, as well as receive early access to the content in which I will be posting about on this channel, definitely consider going down to the description and down below. It'll lead you over to my Patreon, which is going to be where I am, putting out all of this information. So whenever it comes to Sun Pacific Holdings Corp, I wanted to bring to you all 3 catalysts today that I think are going to be very beneficial going into the future. Now, this is not going to be the longest video ever, as I did just want to make sure I keep you guys all super duper up to date and bring you as much value and content about the most hot and most popular stocks that y'all would suggest to me as possible. Of course, at the end of the day, my goal is to provide you all with as much value and as much quality content as possible, so I hope I am able to obtain those goals with another video like this one. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's talk some SNPW. So the first catalyst that I did want to mention today is the fact that they are doing a fantastic job of setting themselves up for whenever the world returns back to normal. I did pull an article from October that talked about the fact that the Holding Corp subsidiary Street Smart Outdoor announced a 5-year agreement with Township of Howell, New Jersey, adding up to 40 new advertising displays. So I believe that this could be super duper important because we have to think about it like this. Tourism has decreased dramatically over the last year since the beginning of the pandemic. What that means is a lot of companies aren't out really trying to spend extra money to put out street furniture and all of this, as realistically, no one's really on the street if you think about it. So what does that mean for this company? Well, they're taking advantage of the fact that a lot of these different deals and agreements in which they will come to put up 40 new advertising displays will likely be a little bit cheaper, as competition is really not that big. There's really not many people out trying to put up a whole bunch of street furniture if no one's going to see it. So that is going to be important for this company, because going forward and going into the future, realistically, as there are more vaccines and we do see this whole pandemic start to turn around a bit, that we will see tourism increase. We will see overall, traffic increase. And what that'll lead to is increased advertisement costs, as to put advertisements up on these shelters are going to cost a little bit more as more people will see them, because that provides more opportunity for those companies who are advertising. So what that means for this company is that they're taking advantage of this pandemic. They're taking advantage of these lower costs, coming together with these long-term 5-year deals that will then provide them with the opportunity to make good revenue whenever the world goes back to normal in the future here. I really do like that. I think that that means going into the future that every month as we get closer to this pandemic hopefully being over at some point, that we see this company slowly inching its way into success, and that will hopefully generate a solid amount of revenue that will fuel some of its other operations in which they are trying to do. Now, I believe that this could be super duper beneficial for the company, as this industry is growing very, very fast. Of course, as the population does increase, as we have stuff like this going on with the pandemic, the overall amount of medical waste is increasing dramatically and exponentially day in and day out. Well, this company is currently in the progress of creating a facility that is going to again be recycling a lot of medical waste into energy that can then be used as clean energy to fuel a whole bunch of different operations. Because we have to remember that this company's goal at the end of the day is to create a more sustainable environment, and this is one of the steps that they see, like, okay, the medical waste industry is horrific. There's a lot of it, and so what can we do in order to take some of that medical waste, recycle it, and create a cleaner source of energy? Now, of course, they are not the only ones doing this, as there are other companies who have these facilities, but this is only just a subsidiary in which they own, and that could be a very solid revenue and income source going into the future. So I'm very excited to see how that does play out and what level of income and revenue it could generate for this company. As we can see here, that based on the 33 pounds of waste produced from each staffed bed every day in the US, the hospitals produce more than 5.9 million tons of medical waste each year. Now, if they could simply just get their hands on even a small percentage of that and transfer it into energy, we could see their overall revenue increase dramatically, as this number is only going to increase. So I'm very, very excited. If you do want more information about this overall facility, go over to their recent filings, the SEC filings, and if you go down to their organizational overview, there's a paragraph right here. I'm not going to just bore your minds out with reading this, but there is more information that is going to be talking about this Metrocycle facility, which they will be making in Rhode Island. I think it's very, very important. And last but not least, and the biggest catalyst that I do see for this company going forward, is that the industry in which they are primarily targeting is growing at extreme rates. Of course, this company is focusing on solar power, as a lot of their different subsidiaries do focus on solar panels and solar power itself, and I think that's very, very important for a few different reasons. Well, again, as we have seen that Joe Biden is now president, that we will see clean and renewable energy be something that is going to be very, very highly talked about for the next 10 years, likely. I believe that people are going to more strongly focus on these more renewable and clean energy sources, and solar power is one of those. Now, what that means is that this company can directly benefit and grow out their consumer base, as many companies do try to make that switch over to clean energy. Now, they're very specific focuses in which they have niched down their subsidiaries to is going to allow them to capture a lot of market share in a bunch of smaller markets that will honestly eventually add up to some substantial revenue. Now, as we can see here, it says that the United States solar energy market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 17.32% from 2020 to 2025. So their overall industry is growing very, very fast. And if they're if they're able to keep getting these deals like we did see earlier, if they're able to continue using these solar panels and powering a lot of these different shelters and all of these other advertisement sources, we can see them killing two birds with one stone as the world does get back to normal, as well as taking effect, with the overall increase in the solar panel market, in the solar power market, sorry. I'm very, very excited about that. I think those are going to be some fantastic catalysts going forward, and I really do believe that they can lead to many different income sources that will make this overall holdings company a lot of revenue. Let me know if you guys think that there are any more very important catalysts for this company going forward. This is a very new company with a lot of growth potential. If you do want access to the trades I'm going to be making on this company going into the future, definitely again head down to the link in the description. It'll bring you over to my Patreon, and it's also an amazing way to be able to help support this channel, help fuel it, and help me better provide you all the content and the quality that you deserve. With that being said, I do post 2 to 3 times every single day, so I hope to see you all soon. Peace.